Well, you came close, but yeah. So then the next board this was sort of another routine upgrade by Gavin here. 19 with a good five card suit. Um, so what are you guys' feelings about Puppet after two now?
I mean, I like it. Gavin and I play it, but I'm not sure if he played it because I like it or he likes it also.
Nah, I can go either way. I think there's upside to both playing Puppet and not playing Puppet. And like it feels like whenever I'm not playing Puppet, the board comes up that you need to play Puppet. So I'd rather play Puppet just to not have that hand where I can't do Puppet Statement and we play three no trump down. It's very frustrating. So I would say that if I could pick with my partners, I usually try to play Puppet.
Yeah, I like Puppet as well, and over 2-0.
Alrighty. And so how do you guys handle like the forcing major suit raises then?
You mean when you have a 4/4 fit?
Yeah, when you have the 4/4 fit, do you just not ever have those hands? Or?
Well, yeah, they never come up actually. When you bid Puppet, it's only to get to the 5/3 fit.
You see, whenever I play Puppet, those hands come up, and whenever I don't play Puppet, nothing bad happens.
Yeah. Well, what you do is it goes. First of all, Puppet Statement, for those of you who don't know, is when your partner opens 2-0 and you bid 3 clubs, you're asking about your partner's major suit holdings, 4 and 5 card majors. So the way I play it is 3 of a major would show a 5 card major, and 3 diamonds would show 1 or 2 4 card majors. So there's 2 different issues. One, to find your 4/4 fit. When you have a 4 card major opposite only 1 4 card major. So, for example, on this hand is South. If I had Puppet Statement, and Gavin bids 3 diamonds, showing a 4 card major, I would just bid 3 now. But let's say I had 4 spades and not 4 hearts. You bid the major you don't have, and then you find your fit that way. So 3 hearts would show 4 spades, and 3 spades would show 4 hearts. And that leaves when you have 4/4 in the majors, which I think is the reason you're afraid of Puppet, Adam, is how do you handle the 4/4 in the majors? So what you do is you play over 3 diamonds. 4 clubs shows both majors slamish, and 4 diamonds shows both majors not slamish, or you're about to blackwood in your partner's suit, and then you can handle all these options.
Yeah, you can handle most of them. I just Puppet and I have never got along.
You're the oldest 17-year-old or 16-year-old ever. You can handle most of these auctions. I don't know. I think in 20 years you're going to be asking me if you should open it.
Yeah, I know. Before I know it, I'll be bidding more conservatively than you.
Even if you have some, you lose a little bit on some of your slam hands, you get to the right game more often, and that seems to be much more frequent.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly where I was going. Whenever you compare 2 different treatments, there always has to be a discussion of frequency, right? Because everything's a trade-off, and finding the right game compared to losing on some slam dunk hands seems clear.
Right. I mean, it's sort of a right game versus game or slam type decision, and most of the time, the right game is more important. And
you don't have to puppet. Like this hand, we played Puppet, and I didn't puppet.
Right.
Because I have a good source of tricks for 3 no trump, and it seemed the most likely way we were going to go down in game is if 3 clubs Puppet got doubled. So it wasn't worth it to try to find the 5/3 fit. So just because you play a convention, it doesn't mean you have to use the convention.
I mean, I personally think this is an area of bidding where people start to make mistakes as they get better in bridge. They gain enough confidence in themselves that they feel like they can evaluate the merits of a bidding convention on their own. And so they start to say, well, I don't want to play this convention because, and they'll come up with a hand that it can't handle. But what's missing from that is an analysis of what you're giving up and the frequency or expected gain or loss of something like that. Every convention has some hand that is going to mess it up. Right.
Wow, I felt Greg like electronically hit me there. But yeah, so
it's true. Adam and I had some
that's very true, though. Just saying something doesn't work isn't really an effective way to go about things.
Yeah, I mean, you can come up with some sort of hand where you're screwed by playing stayman. Absolutely, right. But stayman is.
Right. Every time you have like a 5-card weak club suit and partner opens a no trim.
Yeah, but if I want to play 2 clubs,
right?
I can't, and I say I don't want to play this, and that's everyone goes through that phase.
Yeah, and it's also very natural to sort of remember the bad results a lot more than the good ones. So
absolutely,
that's actually something that sort of been talking with a number of people, including like Kit Woolsey and whatnot, about is sort of the bad results standing out more than
Don't
the
fight
good ones.
Stayman. Is that what you've been talking about?
Well, no, Kit actually does advocate Stayman, but
That's good. It's very human to focus on bad results and forget good ones.
yes, exactly. And yeah, so on the play on this hand, they let a heart, and you played 10 and ace, and you went after diamonds immediately.
Yeah, well, now or never. I still have the king of clubs entry and dummy. If I start with clubs first, then I won't be able to handle diamonds.
Right. And so then after 3 rounds of diamonds, you switched to clubs.
Yeah, I could have just played another diamond. I was pretty confident that the clubs were 4-2. Just I mean, they could have been. I knew that my left-hand opponent had at least. Probably had 4 hearts and 4 diamonds, so they rated to have a doubleton. I knew that that it wasn't going to happen. That clubs were all offside, so I figured I could play king of clubs and a club to the 10. It might lose to the jack, but I'm going to get back what I lost, and I gain a trick when it's jack fourth of clubs on side. The only thing I couldn't afford to play king of clubs club to the ace, because now if everything is just an absolute disaster for me, I might run into some trouble. But by playing a king of clubs club to the 10, now even if clubs are 4-2, I've got my 9 tricks. Even if the 10 loses to the jack, I've got my game made. But I had this bonus trick if the jack of clubs is onside. I thought it was worth the risk.
Right. And today you got all the match points. So yeah. So then in the other room, it was fairly. Actually, there was one interesting decision in the other room. Your lead against 3-0, Jason. What were your thoughts?
What didn't have a very strong hand, and then usually when it goes 2-0, 3-0, or 1-0, 3-0, I like to lead a major here. If I've got a 5-card major of my own, I'm usually going to lead it. And here, with such a weak hand, I'd like to try and hit partner's 5-card major. And in this case, it's much more likely that he would have 5 spades as opposed to 5 hearts. That's my reasoning behind the spade lead.
Right. And it worked out quite nicely here, actually. The spade lead sort of hit the jackpot.
I definitely like the idea of trying to find partners 5 cards too. The one problem comes when I sometimes try to think what I need from partner for a lead to be right. And the one problem with leading like your 3-card jack third versus jack fourth is that at least if he does have 5 hearts, you need him to have. You don't need nearly as strong of a heart suit to take 5 heart tricks. But leading a spade to be right, you need to partner to have, a much better spade suit, king queen fifth, ace queen fifth in an entry, or ace queen fifth or king queen fifth in an entry. Whereas the heart jack, if a partner has ace fifth of hearts and the hearts are 2-2, or ace 10 fifth of hearts and it's singleton honor, or the heart, so sometimes you might be less likely that partner has a 5-card suit, but you might be more likely to take 4 tricks if they do.
Yeah, I thought it was actually a very interesting lead problem.
Not that I like leading from jack 9 fourth. I couldn't tell you what the right lead with that hand is for the life of me.
Right, it also has some passivity to it. If partner doesn't have either of those 2 suits, you might not be blowing a trick with jack third, whereas it's a little more likely you're blowing one from jack fourth. And yeah, it wasn't nothing was jumping out at me, but that seemed like the best shot.
Yeah, certainly not a hand that something jumps out at you. Maybe the nearest exit sign, but
I think at the bridge club I would have the 4 diamonds on the table. When I'm playing in a pair game, I try as much as I can to just do what everybody else is going to do, and most people are just leading 4th best from their longest and strongest. So.
Yeah. At least if it's wrong, you can explain to your partner you led from your 4th best or longest and strongest.
If it's wrong, at least you're probably have a chance later in the hand to survive with
some of the match points,
because the rest of the field is also doing it. That trying unusual leads in pairs games doesn't. I mean, maybe in a high level pair game it's a totally different story, but in a normal pair game, you leading something when you're not sure an unusual lead is right, you just tend to want to stay away from it.
Right, and yeah, it's sort of you give yourself a few extra chances if you don't blow it right away. I guess it's if you're really convinced it's the right lead, sure, but definitely sort of staying with the norm is quite helpful. And the play after that wasn't too interesting. The only thing was on the third diamond, Greg, you pitched a spade, so now Declarer was able to knock out the diamond and only lose 2 spade tricks.
Right. Yeah, this spade pitch was really lazy. You know, I can't say that there was a lot of thought put into it. I thought that Jason had 4 spades because he led the 2, which obviously, you know, he doesn't. But even if he does have 4 spades, my spade pitch is blocking the suit. So it was just bad. You know, I thought that I was expecting to have to make 3 diamond discards because I thought the declarer had 2 spades, and so I thought the diamonds were just about to run, and I couldn't imagine keeping all 3 of my spades, and so I pitched one early, and then when I saw that Jason didn't have 4 spades, I was like, oh man, what did I do here? But
I mean,
we wanted it anyway.
In principle, that's true. You'd be blocking the spades if he doesn't have 4. But in practice, Declarer is just going to fly queen, and it's not going to hurt you to pitch a spade. So
Right.
I think you're still going to score your 3 spade tricks if partner's got them.
Right.
It was more just that on this hand, it was a trick. And, you know, even looking at all the hands, it's not that easy to see what the right pitches are. I think if I had to plan 3 pitches, since I know my king of hearts is probably dead, I should probably just pitch 3 hearts, but that's not easy to do.
Yeah.
Right, it's certainly a lot easier after seeing all 4 hands, and
Yeah,
you,
but I mean,
you know you need to hold your clubs, but you
right, yeah, pitching a club was out of the question. I mean, the real answer is that it was just a lazy pitch. I should just pitch 3 hearts.
already.
But see, at least it seems right to pitch the heart first, and then you find out the diamond shape suit. Then you
Right,
have more.
yeah, I got tunnel vision once I decided that, you know, I didn't even think about the possibility of, even if my read was right, the clear could still be 2-4, 2-5. It's still right to pitch a heart. It just costs nothing and can only gain, and it's just not a good play.
Alrighty. So moving on to board 6. We have your double over 3 after East preempted 3 diamonds, and you doubled, Steve. What sort of you have obviously not a great hand. What's your minimum here?
Yeah, I mean, the person with the short diamonds really is going to go out of their way to bid. And here I have support for all 3 suits and 9 cards in the majors and a minimum opening bid. So this is actually an automatic double. You know, I would do it vulnerable. I would do it vulnerable against not vulnerable with short diamonds and 9 cards in the majors and a solid opening bid. You know, if we were vulnerable and you made a club a diamond, I'd probably pass, but I wouldn't feel very good about it. Like, I'd feel like it's a pass, but I'd go wah and pass. You know?
Well, as long as partner knows what to expect, then.
Right. The 5-4-2-2 minimum opening bid would be stretching it a little bit.
Right. Exactly. I mean, what's important is that you have an agreement about pass versus wah pass.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, what was fun, I remember thinking on this hand, everything that happened the rest of the hand was sort of normal. You know, I jumped a game, and the opponents defended well. They led their singleton club and crossed and managed to figure out by the club back which suit to cross to their partner to get another rough. You know, he played back his lowest club to tell his partner to rough. But and all I can think of at the end of this hand was you know, Steve doubled instead of bidding 3 spades. And doubles, you know, definitely would be my choice. But all I can think is we got to this beautiful 5-4 heart fit, and it took taking a club rough to go down. I thought, you know, it would be really annoying if the opponents overcalled 3 spades and played their 5-1 fit and made 140 because they got to take the club roughs and spades, and I thought that would be a pretty fun comparison of going minus 100 and having our teammates read minus 140.
Yeah, that'd be pretty annoying. Yeah.
Yes. And actually, in 3 spades, it's not really clear how you're going to do because
if they put the ace of diamonds on the table, it's
right.
It's over.
Well,
They
exactly.
can't beat you. So
I mean, North has a tough problem. The partner overcalls 3 spades.
So maybe I have it all wrong. Maybe I should have bid three spades, and not double.
Well, I mean, if you want to make Gavin hate you with it, Arthur,
I mean, I would not pass three spades. I would certainly bid. I mean,
Yeah, you have a nasty bid over
did
three
what?
I mean, I would bid four hearts. Whatever.
Yeah,
It's certainly
Don't
an
have a-
annoying bid.
Yeah.
yeah. So in the other room, Jason didn't give them the same problem, but so yeah, Jason, I guess, is the old man of the group here. What do you need for a red-white preempt here? Did we lose Jason?
Yeah, he looks frozen.
He
He looks frozen, like the
right
best
up in the
position
comment,
ever.
he's frozen. Was
That's
that
convenient.
Cryogenics or something like that?
Well, I'll answer it on my partner's behalf. I mean, we do have two diamonds available to us as a preempt, so even if he popped it, his hand wasn't good enough for three diamonds. There's Jason.
I love the smiling, frozen Jason and the other Jason. That's perfect.
Yes, that was pretty beautiful.
And he came back with the same smile.
Jason, the question on the table is why didn't you preempt this hand?
I guess red on white, I really like my preempts to be pretty classic, and I don't like doing it with such a bad suit here. And I didn't see a lot of upside, and there's pretty rare you can have a profitable save at this vulnerability, and you're giving away a lot of information if your side doesn't end up declaring when you preempt.
Right, and so you also had two diamonds available if you didn't feel like this was good enough for three. But yeah,
Or one
Like-
diamond available if you felt like it was good enough for one.
it's awfully close. That's
Gavin, what would you bid with that hand?
I mean, I would not open three. I don't like three with side ace and not a good suit and defense, not offense. I mean, I would probably open one diamond. I would not pass. I like to open. I don't think it's going to work out like disastrously if I just open a diamond, rebid two diamonds, and rebid three diamonds.
I would open three. I don't mind one diamond, but I would open three.
yeah, I would probably open three as well. But I get to be an old man with Steve. Or young. I don't know
Yeah.
exactly how that
No,
works.
we're flipping it over now.
Yeah. We take turns.
Well, I mean, Jason and I had discussed our preempt style, and at these colors, I think that suit would not fit what we had discussed for a three diamond bid. So it would be
That's
it
the
would
most.
be unsystemic for what we had discussed. I
I
guess
think
I
it's
would
pretty. Sorry,
I would probably open one diamond, I guess, but I wouldn't open three because of the discussion we had because partner won't expect this hand.
I think it's really important not to open two. Of all things, two is such a misconception. Of, like your partner's going to not really ever take you for this number of tricks, and you're going to miss games. You're vulnerable. I really don't like two. Three is fine. One's fine. Pass. I like pass better than two diamonds.
Yeah, I felt like I would have a chance to bid later if they did anything other than start a 2-over-1 game forcing auction. I was going to come in with bid.
It's a little hard to bid diamonds over this auction.
Yeah, a little scary at least. But yeah, so moving on to board 7 here, we have